I am Cantor Lizzie Shamash. I'm coming to you um, from Massachusetts today. This land is the land of the Wampanoag, and we respect this beautiful, beautiful piece of the world, this land. Um, Thank you for being at IJS Online Studio. We love to practice together. Our props for today are a chair, a blanket, and a strap. So as you collect them, just a couple of announcements. Portland, Oregon, Linda Shivers. So we've got Portland, Maine, and Portland, Oregon, or Maine anyway, the state, and Portland, Oregon represented. Great. Today is the 7th of Tammuz, Chodesh Tov, because we didn't see each other last week for Rosh Chodesh. So um, Chodesh Tov on this month of Tammuz, and a couple of announcements. Join us for the last workshop in the Ignite Your Creative Spark series. That's this Wednesday, June 28th. And it's Grief to Praise, the transformative power of song. How amazing. With Kohenet, Hebrew priestess Ilana Brody. So please take advantage. On our tech side today, Jet is joining us, and we thank them for all the wonderful care that they give us on this time together. So let's get started. We're going to do about 5 minutes of warm up, and then I want to share a little bit of Torah with you, and we'll continue our practice until quarter of the hour. And then if you're able to stay, we have 15 minutes of Q&A and discussion and reflection, and that's always really, really special for all of us. So if you can stay for that, that's great. So we'll begin in the chair. If you don't have a chair, if you want to sit on an exercise ball, that works really well. If you want to sit on the floor propped up, that also works really well. Okay, friends, find a comfortable seat. If you're in the chair, it's nice to just feel what my niece called 90-90-90. I think that she got that from Peloton. 90 degrees at the ankle, 90 degrees at the knee, 90 degrees at the hip, which is just another way of saying what I say all the time, which is the shoulders are directly over the hips, and then the knees are directly over the ankles, and then the feet are parallel. You can almost imagine like your feet are two skis extending in both directions, to give you a lot of surface area and grounding down. You can close your eyes if you like and just take a couple of deep breaths, inhaling through the nose. And exhaling, drop your jaw, make a ha sound. A couple of times like that, just landing. Grounding the sitting bones. Tall spine. Tailbone extending down. Long neck. Crown of the head extending upward. And just checking in with the body, mind, heart. What do you need today? What wants some love, some attention, some chesed, some care? Seeing if there's any part of the being, of your being, that needs specific attention. Might be physical, might be emotional. Or maybe it's just a call for all over softening. 5%. And how are you feeling? Is your well full? Is your well feeling a little tapped, a little dry? Let's just start by dropping the chin to the chest on an exhale. And then on the inhale, lifting the chin, lifting the gaze up, a little extension and flexion through the neck, the cervical spine, exhaling, chin to chest, and inhaling up. You don't have to follow my breath. You can take this in your own time. Just coordinating breath and movement. Nice and slow, nice and easy. No race, nowhere to go. And then come back to center. Inhale, and then exhale. Take the gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale the gaze over the left shoulder. A couple of times like this. Just going side to side, nice and easy. Easy brow, easy jaw. And then back to center. I'm going to take a side bend over to the right. So inhaling, you might just keep the arms down, or you might inhale the left arm up and exhale over to the right. And using the breath, inhale up and exhale other side. So maybe you're taking the arms with you, or maybe you're just keeping the arms down if shoulders are troubling you. But the main thing is coordinating the breath with the movement. So we inhale, center, extend, exhale, side. So it's sort of an up and over, breath by breath. Notice what's going on in the side waists, in the hips, and the sitting bones. And then inhale back to center. Inhale, center. Again, arms up, arms down. Doesn't matter your way. Exhale, twist to the left. Keep it just slowly, gently flowing side to side. Inhaling, center, and exhaling, twisting. Wonderful. And then come back to center and pause. We're going to take the arms up. I want to offer a couple of options. If shoulders are tight, then you're going to take your strap and you're going to take your arms up like this. If your shoulders are looser and you have availability for it, you'll interlace the hands, press the palms forward, and lift up. So either way, what we're going for here is ground the sitting bones and extend either through the strap or through your palms upward. And breathe here. Lift the rib cage off the hips, and then release. If you're doing hands, you want to take the opposite webbing. And if you're doing strap, you're just coming back up. Just find that length on both sides of the waist. Keeping all that height on the next exhale. Just bring it down and pause. And I want to share a little bit of Torah with you. So this week we have a double portion. It is Chukat and Balak. There's a lot going on. We're just going to focus on, even in Chukat, there's a lot going on. I want to focus on one piece. We have a lot of connection between life and death in this portion, very much side by side. The parsha opens with how we cope with contact with death, how the laws around dealing with a corpse, the handling of the corpse. And then we have the death of Miriam, and we have the death of Aaron, and we have the Israelites complaining about water, and the idea of water as a life-giving force, which we'll talk about in a moment. And of course, when we die, the ritual around death is during Tahara is to pour water over, right? Like it's not a cleansing issue, it's a ritual issue of water, right? So water is life, and life is right next to death here. And then we have the whole scene, of course, with Moses and Aaron and striking the rock to get water and doing that without God's um, okay on that. And for that, the Moses is not being able to allow, not being allowed to come into the land, right? Dying before they get to the promised land. So I want to talk about Miriam and water and her death. The fact that her death is even mentioned is already huge, right? Because we know the women are not given a lot of airtime in the Torah. And so even though we only get two very short sentences, it's already a lot of information. The only deaths of women that are mentioned in the Torah are Sarah and Rachel's nurse, and Miriam. So this is already big. So Numbers 20, verses 1 to 2, the Israelites arrived in a body at the wilderness of Sin on the first new moon, and the people stayed at Kadesh. Miriam died and was buried there. The community was without water. That's all we get. She died, she was buried there, the community was without water. So first of all, we get this beautiful information. She died on the new moon of the she died on the new moon of the first month, and that's significant. And the place they were staying is called Kadesh, Kodesh, holy, right? So she dies in a place called already holiness. And the rabbis are asking, what's the connection between these two sentences? She died, they were without water. Doesn't seem to have much to do with each other. So there's a beautiful midrash about Miriam and Miriam's well, as of course you may well know. And that was the water which traveled with the Israelites through the desert. And so that and it had healing powers. And of course it had life-saving powers, because without water we can't live. And that well dried up after her death, they say, right? And the water was sort of apparently through the midrash shaped like a rock with a sieve where water came out of it. So Ta'anit 9a tells us this about Miriam's well. Rabbi Yossi, son of Rabbi Yehuda, says, 3 good sustainers rose up for the Jewish people during the Exodus from Egypt, and they are Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. And 3 good gifts were given from heaven through their agency, and these are they: the well of water, the pillar of cloud, and the manna. He elaborates, the well was given to the Jewish people in the merit of Miriam, zechut Miriam, right? The pillar of cloud was in the merit of Aaron, and the manna in the merit of Moses. When Miriam died, the well disappeared, as it stated, and Miriam died there. And it says thereafter in the next verse, and there was no water for the congregation. So this is so beautiful. In the merit of each of these siblings, like one talisman, if you will, for the Israelites through the desert. So hers is the well. And of course, then the Israelites complain there's no water, and God tells Moses to speak to the rock, but he strikes it, right? And God decrees Aaron's death and also Moses's pending death. And then there's this beautiful ritual around Aaron's death. We get a lot more description there of going atop Mount Hor, and Moses strips Aaron of his vestments, places them on Aaron's son, Eleazar, and Aaron is mourned 30 days, which is how we get Shloshim, right, in our mourning ritual. So today, our practice is in honor of Miriam HaNeviah, Miriam the prophetess, who led the Israelites in song, who gave the Israelites water, right? 2 kinds of sustenance, the physical and also the spiritual, neither of which we can live without. And I want to attune ourselves to the fact that the body is made up of 60% water. It's a lot of water. We need water for life. Anyone who's ever been dehydrated in any amount knows how important water is. The question is, how do we find our wellspring? How do you get nourished? Where is your wellspring? Where can you find your wellspring in this embodied life that we have? And how are you doing in that well? Does it feel dry? Does it feel full? How do you feel, and how can we sustain our own wellspring in our practice, right? Again and again. So I want to focus on practices that really elongate the body, give us space in the body, that nourish us. And as always, anything that doesn't feel good for you, it's just a suggestion. So please, you do you. And the most important yoga is for you to be comfortable and feel well with your own practice. So I give you lots of permission to do as you need today. So we're going to start by opening the joints, giving some space to the joints. We start with the feet. Just a little bit of prancing, just starting to move on to the toes, and you might feel all kinds of cracks and pops. There's so many bones in the feet. Just doing what feels good. You can take circles with the ankles, both directions. Feeling the contact with the mat, feeling the texture, feeling an increase in the surface area. You can also roll over the tops of the toes and stretch the front of the foot. That feels really nice. Just give the feet a little bit of love. And then we'll come to the knees. A little bit of warmth from the hands on the kneecaps. And then with ankles and knees together, taking the little Betty Boop movement, I call it, taking the knees around in a semicircle, bending the ankles, bending the knees a couple of times, back and forth. This is just a little practice you could do anytime, another 5-minute. Wonderful, wonderful for the body, especially as we age. Keep these joints nice and oiled, a little WD-40 for the joints. Moving up to the hips, spread the feet a little more, and we'll start to take little circles. Imagine you're working with a hula hoop here in super slow motion, right? If you were on video and we just slowed down the video, what would it look like if you were dancing with a hula hoop? You can take the circles as small or as large as you like. You can involve the torso in your movement. Keep the breath nice and steady, slow. Always trying to align movement with breath. And then pause and take the other direction. Great, and then we'll move to the arms. So wrists, a little bit of flamenco wrists. One direction and the other direction. Open up the fingers, the palms. Good, extend one arm in front, flex the palm of the hand. Take the other hand and drop back. Just a little pressure, not too much. Oh, that feels so good, and especially if you work at a computer. And then bring the hand down, and you can use the other hand to press a little bit. And then the other hand flex, give it a good stretch. And then extend, palms facing back in toward you. The other hand giving a little pressure. Great, shake that out. Elbows, just a little bending, straightening. And then shoulders, inhaling, taking the shoulders up toward the ears, exhaling them, taking them back and down. Just feeling the whole shoulder cape move, collarbones, shoulder blades. And then if you like, taking the elbows, a little backstroke. And extending full arm backstroke, a little bit of twist in there. And then forward little crawl. I used to be a swimmer. If you like your swimming, nice images. Great. And then we're going to take the strap. Well, you might take the strap. Oh, no, we're all going to take the strap. Sorry. Take the strap nice and wide, like a pincer, like between thumb and forefinger, first finger. Take it nice and wide and pull it taut. We're going to inhale the arms up overhead and exhale as we come back behind. And if it gets bumpy for you, just widen the arms. So we're inhaling as you come up, exhaling as you come down. Using the breath. The movement is in the arms and the shoulders, but be energetic also in your toes, in your feet, finding the four corners of the feet, grounding down. Good. And then we'll pause that one. The next thing we're going to do, if shoulders are tight, you're going to use the strap. If shoulders are feeling open, you're going to extend the arms up in a steeple. If you remember Charlie's Angels, it's Charlie's Angels fingers. We're going to come up, make one long noodle. So feet and knees together or just a little bit apart. So either the arms steepled or the strap wide. Inhale into length and exhale up and over to the right. It can be a little or a lot. Hips are shifting left, arms are going right, extending through the fingertips or pulling taut on the strap. And then inhale up through center, long, long noodle. Make yourself a lange laksh. And exhale over to the left. Lengthen the tailbone, head and neck easy. Inhale, come on up, and then release. You can shake it out. We're going to move to a couple standing poses. Warrior two, side angle. And I want to make two suggestions. You can use the chair if you like, or you can, do freestanding as we do. I'm going to model with the chair for those who wish to try that. So the chair would go towards the right side of your mat, and you might need a blanket or two to support under you, depending on how much you're coming down, right? So it looks like this, where we're going here, right? But if that's too far for you, right, you want to be able to support. So you may take a pillow, a couple pillows. Looks like that. So with or without chair, please turn the feet, right toes out, left toes in. Inhale the arms, shoulder height, or keep them at the hips, and then come on down. Finding warrior two. Not a lot of fuss today, just feeling how it feels to be in this body as a whole. You don't need to really look at deep particulars every practice. Just be here and breathe. See that the knee is not going past the ankle. Find some flow. Water has flow, right? Feel some flow in the body, some space. And then when you're ready, inhale and come up. You'll bring the chair to the other side if you like, or turn to the other side and come on in. Breathe here. And as you're ready, come on up. We'll switch sides again. So if you're using the chair, a couple of benefits. Obviously, it's a little easier on the legs, and it also helps you find your sitting bones, helps you find your stability. So turning the feet once again, come to the other side, come on into warrior two. And then we're going to move to side angle. So forearm to thigh. The top hand can be on the hip, or the top hand can come over. You decide. Gaze can be forward or gaze can be up. A couple of breaths here. Find your length. And then inhale, come on up. And so just looking for sort of that prana flow, that life force, that life-giving wellspring in each of the poses today. Just to find some joy and sustenance, really, right? Water is sustenance. Coming to the other side. And then once again, forearm to the thigh, coming over. So it might be here, it might be here. Find that length and that openness in both sides of the waist, both the top, right? Obviously, from outer foot to the fingertips, and also in the underside, in that left side. And as you're ready, come on up, come on out. We're going to take Utkatasana, chair pose. I'd like to suggest a couple possibilities. Of course, you might just directly come in, right? But if balance is an issue, you have two options. You can hold the chair as you come down to chair pose, right? So you have some help here. Or if it's really a lot on the thighs, just gently use your chair and kind of balance here. Just as good, still getting the benefits. So wherever you are with this, we are going to take the strap for our arms. We're not going to belt it. We're just going to take the strap wide. That's one option. I like that option. If you want a little more on your shoulders, once again, you can clasp hands and take it here. Okay, so feet together, or if you prefer, for balance, feet hip width apart. Inhale, take the arms up. Draw the navel in, lengthen the tailbone right from the start. Exhale, sit it down. Sit it down. If the feet are together, knees are pressing together. There is a little bit of an arch in this, yeah? It's a little bit of a extension of the spine, but also lengthen the tailbone. If you want, you can come up and come back in. Feeling the heart rate, perhaps rise, feeling heat rise. And come on in again. And come in and out as you like. Just experiencing a heat building pose, a little bit for the core. Breathing. And then, as you're ready, come on up. We're going to come to seated. Go ahead and have the blanket for some lift if you'd like. The legs are going to come wide. And we'll bend the right knee and bring the foot in. We're going to take a side bend over to the left. So you might want to have your strap handy. You can use it or not. We're going to inhale. We're going to turn actually first towards the right knee. Just feel the rib cage move in line here with the right knee, the chest. And then we're going to start to make a side bend to the left. So the left elbow can draw inside the thigh to help open the chest. You could just be right here. You could bring the top arm over. Or for some, you might like to work with the strap, like so. And start to, you can use the strap for some anchoring to sort of pull the torso through and around. Whichever is for you. Inhaling into length. Exhaling into the twist, the side bend. And then as you're ready, slowly release. Come on back up. Pause here. And we'll switch sides. Extend that right leg. Bring that left leg in. Inhale tall, and exhale turn toward the left knee. So we're setting ourselves up for this. Inhale tall, and then exhale. Start to come down toward that right leg, right elbow. I find that it's really a help. If you bring your right elbow inside your right thigh, you can use it as some leverage for this twisting here. And then once again, arm can come up if you like. You can take the strap around the right foot if you'd like. Start to use that. Working your way in, be with it, and breathe. And then as you're ready, release. Okay, we're going to come onto the belly and we're going to come to a supported Sphinx pose. So I want to show you this. We'll take the blanket and we'll make a little jelly roll of it and put it toward the top third of your mat. Let me move the camera so you have maybe a little better view here. The bolster here is going to come right at the base of the rib cage as you lie down, and the elbows are going to come right up to the blanket. So it's like a little mini sphinx that's supported with the blanket. Feet are hip width apart or even maybe a little wider. If you have tenderness in your low back, this is such a nice one to help. We're pressing the forearms down. We're lengthening the tailbone toward the heels, extending the toes. Be here and breathe. Just pause. Bit of a back bend heart opener, right? Heart openers really are our wellspring. They can help with mood. They help to open the spine. Give space to the discs. Keep us healthy. And then when you're ready, we're going to press into the hands and come back to some kind of puppy stretch or child's pose. So arms long, bring the elbows to the bolster and maybe even the forehead. Start with this little puppy lengthening, kind of a downward dog variation. Lengthen the tailbone. Draw the navel toward the spine. If it's comfortable for you, if it's okay for knees and hips, you can come back to more of a full child pose. And again, bring the blanket roll back a little bit so that it's under the elbows and you can rest the forehead. Be here and breathe. Letting the hips draw toward the heels. Beautiful counter pose for the extension. Backward bending, followed by some forward folding. Allowing the breath to massage low back, the hips. Taking in the merit of Miriam, the merit of water, of life-giving force. And then as you're ready, coming to lie on the back. Finding constructive rest with the knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. Just allow the back body to contact the earth. See where you can soften. We'll take figure 4, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh, just above the knee. And if you're super tired and done for the day, then just total permission. Stay in constructive rest for several minutes. It is a great, great blessing just right here. You can place the blanket under your head if that feels supportive. If you're taking figure 4, drawing it in, either with your hands clasped as I'm doing or taking your strap around the left thigh. You can give this one as much juice as you like. You control it, right? So if you want a little more, you press the legs in closer to you. You can take that right elbow and work the right thigh away from you as you draw in. You'll get a little more juice. If you want a little less juice, just let the arms straighten, extend the legs further away from the body. So you decide, you're in control. Always, always your choice. Just trying to tune in and see, what do I need? What is the body asking for? What a blessing to stay in dialogue, in understanding, in right relationship with this embodiment that we have, and be able to help ourselves and then release and take the other side. And then release. We'll take a little twist, hugging the knees toward the chest, taking the arms out at shoulder height. Inhale here, and exhale, take the knees down to the right. Just for a breath or two. Keep the left shoulder grounded. And then inhale through center. And exhale the knees over to the left. And inhale through center. We're going to settle into stillness, and I want to recommend, if you have your chair, this is so nice, to bring your chair to the end of your mat to rest the lower legs from the knees, all right at have the back of the knees just right up at the end of the chair seat here, and the thighs on a diagonal. And come to lay down. Tuck the shoulders under you, tuck your wings onto your back. Allow the palms to face up. This helps to open the chest and let the shoulders just drop, the outer shoulders drop to the floor. And rest, total rest. There's nothing you need to do for the next few minutes. Just let be. Miriam Hanavia Oz Vezimra Beyada Miriam Tir Koditanu Lehagdil Zimrat Olam Miriam Tir Koditanu Letaken Letaolam Bimhera Beyamenu Yitevienu Elmei HaYeshua Elmei HaYeshua. Begin to deepen the breath and start to make your way up to a comfortable seat. The words I just sang a second verse of Eliyahu Hanavi. You recognize the two. Prophet Eliyahu. It says, the second verse says, Miriam the prophet, strength and song in her hand, Oz v'zimra. Miriam, tirkoditanu, dance with us to increase song in the world, to increase the song of the world. Miriam, tirkoditanu, dance with us, litaken et ha'olam, to repair the world. Bimhera v'yameinu, soon in our days, may she bring us to the waters of redemption. El Meha Yeshua. As you come to seal our practice, make a chatima on our practice. You might bring your palms together at the heart and bow your head. And sending hope for redemption in this world, for Maim Chaim, for inner wellspring, for ourselves personally, for one another, in this community and the other communities in which we move and circulate, and in the community of this entire planet, for all beings everywhere. And as you're ready, you can release your hands, lift your head, allow the eyes to open, take in your surroundings. Shabbat Tov. Thanks for practicing, everybody, today.